Day 57. Holy cow. We are truly in the climax today, these 10, 15 pages today, where we are ramping up to the darkest moment. So it should be kind of seesaw action, heroes on top, villains on top. But what these pages really are doing are getting us to the point of the darkest moment. It should be either in today's pages or tomorrow's. But this is a major, major, major ramping up. We should be in battle, whether that is physical or emotional. I don't care. You should feel the tension when you're reading these pages. If ever you have narrative drive, it needs to be right now. We are an arrow to the end of the book, and we need to be moving. There is no lollygagging. There is no reflection. There is no, oh, we're going to have a minor little, tiff over here. We're going to have a fight with the cashier. No. This is directly usually the hero and the villain. Maybe a major villain proxy, especially if you're planning to have a trilogy, and this is not the true villain, but the villains when the villain's major bosses. But it is usually mano a mano. It devolves into a mano a mano. You may have a number of backup. You may have a huge warring. I'm thinking of Avatar. This huge sprawling war in air and water and sea and all of that. And then it comes down to a mano between the hero pretty much and the villain. So that is what we are concentrating on, is that kind of getting rid of the rest of the battlefield and turning our attention towards the hero. The hero may be I don't want to say small part, but he is kind of in a cast of characters. He's in an ensemble during the major battle, but very quickly today or tomorrow, it is going to come down to just him and the villain. They may have magic. They may be fisticuffs. This may be a verbal fight. I'm thinking of August, where kind of everybody else spins off and it's just the oldest sister and the mother at the end there for the climax, where they really go at one another emotionally with their claws out. It's pretty intense. So these pages, we're making sure they are intense. We are making sure they are genre driven. We are making sure that the hero is a hero. Remember, he has a great deal of confidence right now. He is amazing right now. He is not the hero of lore yet, but by God, he's a lot better than he used to be, and that needs to be reflected in his dialogue and in his internal prose. Also, it needs to be reflected by the other characters. The villain is slightly not as overwhelming as he used to be. That it needs to feel in these pages like there is a chance that the hero can win. That is a dicey thing to write, because we as the writer know that the hero is going to lose and lose quite badly, but we need to make this exciting and jockeying and back and forth for position on who's going to win. If you have any doubts about this process, go watch a ton of action movies or a ton of emotional movies if that's what you're doing, or a ton of detective movies to see how this works. Is that usually we go in with a lot of backup, and then as we go down the basement or down the lower levels, the sub-levels, right, we lose people until it becomes a mano, because we need that hero and that villain to really be looking eye in eye. And this can even be I'm thinking of Chronicles of Riddick, that it's pretty much a mano, but there's a huge amount of people around watching, so that it's easy to bring them back into the story when we need them to come back into the story, because of course the hero is going to need to accept help. Tomorrow is going to be the darkest moment. He is going to accept help, become the hero of lore, and then we're going to move up and out of that. But today, these pages need to be ramping up. You know what the climax is. You know what your end line is. So let's make sure that we fulfill all of that. That's what we're going through today, besides all of our basic stuff, just to make it a better written novel. We want to make sure conceptually that we have as vaulting a novel as we originally planned and as you planned it. You cannot be pulling new stuff out here. This has to be seeded. So again, make editing notes. If here you're like, oh crap, I forgot the fiddle back there. I really need that fiddle. Because you're going to do several rounds of edits if this is your first book. And so it's okay to write more notes down about stuff you needed to insert back then. Fantastic. I am so excited. We're almost done with our first edit of your possibly first book. And I congratulate you on getting this far, and I will talk to you soon.